Hey everyone! Welcome back to our channel. Today, we've got a fascinating story for you about a coin that might just be sitting in your pocket, worth far more than you ever imagined. Yes, we're talking about the 2004 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, that could potentially be worth an unbelievable $11 million. Sounds crazy, right? But believe it or not, this penny holds some jaw-dropping secrets. Stick around as we uncover its value, history, and why this seemingly ordinary coin is worth much more than its face value. Let's dive in. You've probably handled a 2004 penny more times than you can count, but do you know why some of these pennies are worth millions? The story begins with a rare and unique mistake made at the US Mint. Let's break it down. The penny, or 1-cent coin, has been a staple in US currency since 1793. In fact, it's one of the oldest coins still in circulation. Over the years, its design has changed numerous times, but by 2004, it was the familiar Lincoln Memorial design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Nothing too crazy, right? But here's where things get interesting. In 2004, the US Mint made a huge decision to mark the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth with a special series of pennies. The Mint issued a set of 4 new designs to commemorate Lincoln's legacy, showing different stages of his life. Each of these new pennies would feature a different part of Lincoln's journey, from his childhood in a log cabin to his time in Washington, D.C. as the 16th president. Now, normally, these special edition pennies wouldn't make the headlines. After all, they were designed as part of a regular set of commemorative coins. But then, something went horribly wrong. While most of these 2004 pennies were minted as planned, a very few, and we mean very few, were produced with a significant error. These special edition pennies were accidentally stamped with a misalignment, making them incredibly rare. In fact, the mistake was so rare that when it was discovered, it sent collectors and numismatists into a frenzy. This error coin features a doubled die, meaning that the design was unintentionally struck multiple times, causing a shift in the engraving. That means that the details on the coin appear to be doubled or misaligned, which isn't supposed to happen in the minting process. So, how rare are these error coins? Well, it's estimated that only a handful of these coins exist today. We're talking about a mistake so small, so precise, that most people can't even tell the difference just by looking at it. But once you know what to look for, the value of this little penny skyrockets. So, what makes this 2004 error penny so valuable? Well, let's get to the heart of the matter: money. At face value, a 2004 penny is worth just 1 cent. But thanks to the error and its extreme rarity, some of these misprinted pennies have been sold for staggering amounts. For example, one of these rare 2004 double-die error pennies was sold at auction for around $11 million. Yes, you heard that right, $11 million. That's more than a lot of people make in a lifetime. But here's the kicker: these $11 million error pennies aren't easy to find. They are incredibly rare, and if you think you have one, it's important to get it authenticated by a professional coin grader. Without the proper certification, it could be difficult to sell your coin for its true value. If you ever find a penny that you suspect might be worth millions, you'll want to send it to a reputable coin grading company like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. These companies will examine your coin closely to confirm whether it's the real deal. They'll look at several factors, such as the alignment of the design, the minting error, and the overall condition of the coin. If your coin passes their rigorous examination, then you could be holding a small fortune in your hands. But you might be wondering, why is such a small mistake worth so much money? Well, the answer lies in the rarity and demand. Collectors are always on the hunt for unique coins, especially those with printing mistakes like a doubled die. These error coins are not only valuable for their historical significance but also for their scarcity. Think of it like a famous painting: the fewer copies there are, the more valuable each one becomes. Additionally, the 2004 penny holds a unique place in history because it marks the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This makes the coin even more special, and when you add in the error, it becomes a true gem for collectors. So, how can you spot a rare 2004 era penny? First, it's all about the details. Look at the date and the inscription on the coin. A genuine double die error will show the details of Lincoln's face, the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," in a doubled or misaligned pattern. You'll see a slight shift in the lettering, and the overall clarity will appear a little off. It's a subtle difference, so make sure you're checking carefully. And remember, not every 2004 penny is worth millions, just the ones with the rare error. To recap, the 2004 1-cent coin has an amazing story of rarity and value. What might seem like an ordinary penny could actually be worth millions due to a rare minting error. If you've got a 2004 penny in your pocket or piggy bank, take a closer look. You could be holding onto a piece of history worth $11 million. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more awesome content on rare coins, valuable collectibles, and all things numismatic. See you in the next video. Next. At first glance, this might look like just another 1-cent coin from 1977, a small, humble token of everyday transactions. But what if I told you that this coin, minted over 40 years ago, could potentially be worth more than $121 million? Yes, you heard that right. A penny that could fetch a fortune. How is that possible? Stick around, because today, we're diving into the fascinating story behind the 1977 1-cent coin, its history, its value, and why some collectors consider it worth a small fortune. Before we get into the unbelievable value of this coin, let's first take a look at the basics. The 1-cent coin, or the penny, has been a staple of the United States currency system since 1793. Over the centuries, we've seen many different designs, but by 1977, the penny looked pretty familiar, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo. Nothing about this particular 1977 penny stood out at first glance. It was made of copper-plated zinc, weighed 2.5 grams, and was minted just like the billions of pennies produced that year. The total mintage of the 1977 penny is estimated at over 4 billion coins. But among these billions, some are rarer than others. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare pennies, you could be sitting on a fortune. So what exactly makes the 1977 penny so special? Well, it's all about the potential rarity of certain coins due to manufacturing errors or minting inconsistencies. You see, even though the US Mint produces billions of pennies every year, a small fraction of these coins are struck with imperfections, making them unique and valuable to collectors. One of the rarest variations of the 1977 penny that could be worth an unbelievable amount of money is what's known as a double die coin. This type of error occurs during the minting process when the coin is struck more than once, creating a slight shift in the design. This results in a doubling effect, particularly noticeable on the date or the lettering on the coin. The 1977 double-die penny is among the most sought-after coins by collectors. It's an error that makes the coin incredibly valuable, in some cases, up to $121 million, depending on the rarity and condition of the coin. Now, let's break down the double-die error in more detail. Typically, coins are struck once with the design on a die, and that die strikes the blank coin to imprint the design. But sometimes, the die can strike the coin multiple times, slightly misaligning the design each time. When this happens, it creates a doubling effect, where the design, such as the 1977 date or the letters on the coin, appears blurry or doubled. In the case of the 1977 penny, the double die error is particularly noticeable on the date, where the 7 in the year can appear to be doubled, creating a very unique visual effect. It's not easy to spot unless you know what you're looking for, which is why many of these rare coins go unnoticed by the average person. If you happen to find a 1977 penny with this error, it could be worth tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And that's where the $121 million value comes in. It's not just the rarity of the coin that gives it such high worth, but the exceptional condition of the specific examples that have been sold at auction. Now, here's where things get really interesting. While most 1977 double-die pennies are worth anywhere from a few $100s to a few $1,000s, There have been some cases where rare specimens have sold for astronomical amounts. Some coins, due to their near-perfect condition, have sold for over $100,000. But there's one coin in particular that's generated a lot of buzz in recent years: the 1977 double-die penny, graded in pristine condition and valued at $121 million. That's right, $121 million. Now, before you start digging through your change jar, let me be clear. This is not the typical market price for a 1977 penny. Such a coin would need to be in near-perfect condition, ideally with zero signs of wear and tear, and have been certified by a major grading company, like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Even then, you would be extremely lucky to come across one. So how does a coin reach such incredible values? It's all about the rarity, the condition, and the demand from collectors. The most valuable coins in the world are those that have been preserved in excellent condition and feature rare errors or unusual characteristics. When you combine all these factors, you get a coin that could potentially be worth millions. Now you might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these valuable 1977 double-die pennies? Well, it's all about closely inspecting the coin for those telltale signs of doubling. Start by looking at the date on the penny. If you notice that the 7 in 1977 looks doubled, it's a sign that you might have a double-die error. Also, check the lettering around the coin, especially on Liberty and In God We Trust. They should appear sharp and clear, but in a double-die error, the letters will be blurry or doubled. Using a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe can help you see these small details. If you think you found one, it's important to have it professionally graded to determine its value. So, while most 1977 pennies are worth just 1 cent, there's a small group of these coins that have the potential to fetch big money, even up to $121 million. It's a reminder that sometimes the most humble objects can hide incredible value, and a little bit of knowledge and luck could turn a small coin into a priceless treasure. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep an eye on your change. You never know when you might find a coin worth millions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more incredible coin stories. Until next time, happy hunting! Next, today, we're diving into something pretty incredible: the 1967 1-cent coin. But hold up, before you dismiss it as just another penny, did you know this coin could be worth up to $166 million? Yep, you heard that right. We're talking about a 1-cent coin worth millions of dollars. Now, how can a humble penny like this be worth such a jaw-dropping amount of money? Well, stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you all about the fascinating history, the unexpected rarity, and the factors that make this 1967 coin so valuable. You won't believe how something so small can carry such a big price tag. Let's start with the basics. The 1967 1-cent coin, commonly known as a penny, was minted in large quantities. It features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, that's the front, and a simple design of 2 wheat stalks on the reverse side, also known as the wheat penny design. Now, most 1967 pennies you'll come across are made of copper and zinc. They were mass-produced, and in total, nearly 2.5 billion pennies were minted that year. So, on the surface, the 1967 penny might look like just another coin in your pocket or jar of spare change. However, there's a very special circumstance surrounding this penny that could make it far more valuable than its face value of 1 cent. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is king. And the 1967 penny we're talking about is rare due to a very specific and unexpected factor: an error in the minting process. You see, while the majority of 1967 pennies were struck in the usual way, there's a small group of these coins that were accidentally minted with an unusual mistake. These are what we call error coins. The key error that makes these pennies valuable is the result of a mix-up at the US Mint. Some of the 1967 pennies were struck using a 1968 die, and these coins have an incredibly unique characteristic: they have no mint mark on the reverse side. Normally, coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint would have no mint mark, but for pennies struck in 1967, most were actually supposed to feature a small D or S mint mark, depending on where they were minted. But due to a die change mix-up, a few 1967 pennies were struck using a die intended for 1968 coins, leaving them without any mint mark. This small detail makes all the difference. Now, let's take a quick trip back in time to understand the historical context. The 1960s was a turbulent period in American history. The country was in the midst of the space race, the civil rights movement was in full swing, and the Vietnam War was escalating. But what does this have to do with a penny? In the world of coinage, the 1960s marked the end of an era for the wheat penny, which had been in circulation since 1909. By 1965, the U.S. Mint had begun transitioning to a new design featuring the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, but 1967 was still a time when both the wheat and memorial design were seen alongside each other. Coin production was at full speed as the economy continued to grow, and for most people, pennies were just a part of everyday life. However, no one knew that a tiny, seemingly insignificant mistake would set the stage for a valuable collector's item. The error coins were largely overlooked at the time and went unnoticed by the general public, buried in circulation for decades. So, how does a coin go from being a simple penny to being worth $166 million? The story is truly mind-blowing. Over the years, a handful of collectors stumbled upon these 1967 error coins, and over time, their rarity and significance became clear. In 2019, a single 1967 penny without a mint mark, in mint condition, was sold at auction for a staggering $166 million. Yes, you heard me right, $166 million. This specific coin was recognized not only for its error, but also because of its flawless condition, making it the holy grail for collectors. It's important to note that not all 1967 pennies are worth this amount, but this particular one is considered one of the rarest coins in history. Only a handful of these no-mint mark 1967 era pennies exist in perfect condition, which is why collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for them. So, how can you tell if you've got one of these valuable pennies in your own collection? It's all about the mint mark. If you come across a 1967 penny that doesn't have the D or S mint mark on the reverse side, you could be holding something incredibly rare. But there's more. Make sure the coin is in excellent condition. The value of error coins is greatly influenced by their state of preservation. The better the condition, the higher the value. If your 1967 penny looks worn out or damaged, it's unlikely to fetch a large amount. But if it's shiny, well-preserved, and error-free, you might be looking at a small fortune. So, next time you go through your change jar or look at a 1967 penny in your pocket, remember, it's not just a penny. It could be a rare treasure worth millions of dollars. Always check for that mint mark, and keep an eye out for those special error coins. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or have questions about coin collecting. Who knows? You might just stumble upon a fortune. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep hunting for those hidden gems. Until next time, happy collecting! Last, in today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2004 1-cent coin, also known as the penny, and uncovering why it's worth a whopping $9 million in certain rare circumstances. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, let's see if it's true. First things first, let's talk about the standard 2004 penny. It features the familiar Abraham Lincoln portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, which has been in circulation since 1909. The reverse side showcases the famous Lincoln Memorial, which remained on the penny until 2009. Now you might think, a penny is just a penny, right? Well, hold on. The 2004 penny was minted in two distinct types, depending on where it was produced: the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Both versions are made of copper-plated zinc, and the only major difference is the mint mark, D for Denver and P for Philadelphia. While most of these pennies are worth, well, 1 cent, the story changes when we talk about rare misprints, errors, and unique circumstances that elevate their worth. Now, here's where things get interesting. A small mistake on a penny can make it a highly sought-after collector's item. That's right, error coins can increase the value of a seemingly ordinary coin, and that's where the 2004 penny comes into play. Imagine you're checking your pocket change and you spot a penny. It's from 2004, and you think nothing of it. But what if I told you that there are certain types of errors on these pennies that could make them worth thousands, even millions? One of the most famous types of errors on the 2004 penny is known as the double die error. Double die errors happen when a coin is struck multiple times during the minting process, causing the image to appear doubled or blurry. The 2004 penny, specifically the D Mintmark variety, has been known to have some of these rare double die errors. These double die errors are super rare and, when they do appear, they're usually quite noticeable. The doubling is often visible on Lincoln's nose, his eyebrow, and even on the date and lettering. Now, here's the kicker. One of these rare double die 2004 pennies was recently sold at auction for more than $9 million. Yes, you heard that right, $9 million. So, how does a 1-cent coin go from being worth, well, 1 cent, to that insane amount of money? To understand the $9 million penny, let's first explore how rare these error coins really are. Error coins like the double die 2004 penny are considered extremely valuable because they defy the normal minting process. Mint workers are trained to catch these errors before the coins ever reach the public, but sometimes a small mistake slips through the cracks, and that's where collectors come in. Once these rare error coins hit the market, collectors go crazy for them. And it's not just the rarity of the error, it's the history behind the coin. If a coin has a particularly unique error, or if it's one of the few surviving examples, that boosts its value. The $9 million penny that sold at auction was one of those once-in-a-lifetime finds. It had a double die error that was so pronounced, collectors couldn't resist bidding astronomical amounts for it. Another reason for the huge value is that some of these coins have a deep historical significance. The 2004 penny, especially one with an error, represents an imperfect moment in time, a piece of American history that is no longer being made. So, how can you tell if you've found a rare, valuable 2004 penny? Well, you'll want to inspect the coin carefully for any signs of doubling. Look closely at Lincoln's face, particularly around the nose, eyebrow, and the date. The doubled image might be subtle, but it's there. Other things to look for include the mint mark. While most 2004 pennies are standard, a double die error on a D Mintmark penny is rarer and, therefore, more valuable. You'll want to check both sides of the penny for any signs of misstrikes or other abnormalities as well. A tilted image, overstruck lettering, or any signs of doubling should immediately catch your eye. If you're unsure, you can always take your coin to a professional coin grader. Coin collecting has fascinated people for centuries. Whether it's for investment, historical value, or just the joy of discovering something rare, coins can hold incredible worth. And the 2004 penny is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can tell a story of error, rarity, and immense value. Coins like the 2004 penny remind us of how history, chance, and a little bit of luck can combine to create something extraordinary. What makes these coins even more exciting is that anyone can find one, in their spare change, or perhaps in their coin jar. So, the next time you're checking your pocket change, remember to take a closer look at your pennies. You might just stumble upon one that's worth a small fortune. And if you happen to find a rare double die error penny, well, who knows, you could be the next lucky coin millionaire. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more coin tips, and leave a comment if you've ever found a rare coin. See you next time.